prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
It was pretty cool to see, and honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny, because damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling for one, where the sport of boxing is when a world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny.
Can't come out of retirement because this guy is so bad. Like, that fired him up a little bit, and then he goes in the ring and he does nothing. He goes in the ring and, like, I thought it was an embarrassing performance from a 30-year-old champion.
Unpredictable and constantly pressuring his opponents. He believes Pacquiao's comeback isn't just possible, it's dangerous for anyone who faces him. Vs. Barrios. A shocking performance when Pacquiao faced Mario Barrios. Many expected an older fighter trying to recapture the past. Instead, he showed up with...
What do you think about the overall matchup?
Everything, man. I watched him train like last week or the week before, and amazing to see him still move and bounce and do all the same things that he was doing in camp years ago when I was with him. So he's still locked in. He's still him, you know? Crazy, but he is. You know what they say, man. The last thing to go is that power.
Jumped into the conversation too. He thinks Manny is still active and in top shape, unlike Floyd Mayweather, who hasn't fought real competition in years. Salt Poppy believes that if they had a rematch today, Manny's energy and sharpness would give him the edge. He says Pacquiao looks more dangerous now than Floyd does. Pacquiao still has it against Barrios. Manny looked fast and aggressive. Every time Barrios tried to land something, Pacquiao answered with quick combinations. His movement and control of the ring.
Prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
Returns. Some people wonder why Pacquiao is coming back. They think it might be for the money. After all, he's a legend with nothing left to prove. He's a world champion in 8 divisions and an icon around the globe. At his age, many say the risks are too high. They believe he should stay retired and avoid further physical strain. Manny sets the record straight. Pacquiao has denied that money is behind his return. He's long been known for his generosity building hospitals and helping disaster victims in the Philippines. He says he fights for pride, legacy, and to inspire.
I think Manny's always been good at that. And my son really pointed it out perfectly. He was still good at it. He was still good at it. I think he was stealing some rounds at the end. Whether he deserved them or he didn't deserve them, whatever. They were close rounds. He might have stole them on the judge's cards. What we shouldn't forget is he's a special guy, and he put a special performance. I never saw calves on the legs of somebody that big. I mean, it's incredible. I thought early on he stumbled a little bit. I thought his legs were stumbling a little bit, like you might see in a 46-year-old, a little bit. But at the end, they got the act together. He used them pretty good. He used them pretty damn good. What I think he also did was maybe a little bit of, I think the word illusion is too powerful, but I'd say a little misleading, where he threw those real fast punches like my son said. They weren't quality punches like they used to be, where there was real impact and real power at the end of them. They were more like just quick punches. And they weren't all being impactful. They weren't all landing clean. Some did, but they weren't all landing clean. And they definitely weren't landing with real power. Now, they really weren't.
He shot smartly and kept the pressure on. This wasn't a man trying to hang on to past glory. He looked like he still had something to prove. Unfortunately, the scorecards didn't fully reflect his effort. A shocking result at age 46. The biggest surprise of the night was Pacquiao, at 46, going the distance and earning a draw against a world champion. Many believe he was unfairly denied a win. Compared to his last fight 5 years ago, where he looked slow, this was a huge improvement. He looked sharper, quicker, and full of energy. If a rematch with Mayweather ever happens.
Have you spoken to Manny recently? I know you're friends with him.
No, I haven't spoken to him, no.
What would you want to see him do next?
Fight Floyd Mayweather or Gervonta Tank.
You think he beats Tank, a prime, near prime Tank Davis?
Like, we'll see. Like, styles make fights, so we just don't know.
What about Mayweather versus Pacquiao too?
Yeah, that'll be a good fight. Like Manny is still active. So.
Okay.
It would now be more fair. Both are older, and neither can claim to be in their prime. But based on what we saw, many believe Pacquiao would win this time. While Mayweather has only done light exhibition fights, Pacquiao just battled a top-level opponent and held his own. Pacquiao says he's not done boxing yet, and there's really no reason he should be. No, he's not among the very best in the world right now, and yes, some younger fighters like Gervonta Davis might be too much. But there are still plenty of top fighters Manny could go toe-to.
That's not what happened. Barrios was so tentative in this fight. He was essentially for some of the exchanges. Manny Pacquiao came out and did what Manny Pacquiao. By the way, credit to Manny. At 46, he still had some feet. He was moving, dancing on Mario Barrios. He was throwing punches going forward on Mario Barrios. And when he wasn't doing that, countering Mario Barrios, who looked like a stick in the mud. He looked like he couldn't even get out of first gear because Manny was hitting with combinations. Were they hurting super bad? Maybe not. Some of them definitely were. Had a mouse under the eye of Mario Barrios, but others were just flurries, and they were keeping Barrios at bay. And when Barrios was throwing one, Pacquiao was throwing three. When Barrios would throw out his jab, Manny would counter with his lead right hand, stepping on the inside plane, doing all the old Manny shit. It was pretty cool to see. And honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny because, damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling for one, where the sport of boxing is when your world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny Pacquiao. But two, just how great he was. 8 division world champion, started his career at 106, I think, comes up to 147. What are we talking about?
Manny Pacquiao's comeback has fighters worried at 46 years old. Manny Pacquiao is surprising everyone. He still moves like he did in his prime. Former champion Sean Porter watched Pacquiao train and saw him fight Mario Barrios. His reaction: Manny hasn't lost a step. His speed, footwork, and energy are all still there. Fighters today are worried because Manny looks like the same dangerous legend he always was. Chris Algieri weighs increase.
Manny Pacquiao crazy for coming back and fighting is because they don't understand what's going on in Manny Pacquiao's life. When a fighter is 46 years old, he doesn't just come back to fight a top fighter because he just wants to fight a top fighter. When he's going through that, that's what's brought him to that place in the first place. And that is having what we call bandwidth extension. He's totally scattered his brain and lost so much money over the course of time. And the same thing that happens when you get a paycheck and you start spending, and because you get shiny object syndrome. You want to get the new watch. You want to get the new gear. You want to eat at the restaurant. You want to go spend money. That's shiny object syndrome. And you can't get it under control the same way that Manny Pacquiao did. He couldn't get things under control. So therein lies the situation where all of that money that he's made, hundreds of millions of dollars, just burnt. And now you got to fight. But if you really stop focusing on the symptom and start concentrating on the root of this thing, and the root of this thing is bandwidth, shiny object syndrome, trying to be so relevant in so many different scenarios. You want to train. You want to run this other business. You want to do this. You got this great idea. And it all boils down to the term that I use all the time, and that's compensatory control, laser focus. Get one idea, follow through with that idea. You got to have a plan in order to do it. And that's how you get to from here to here. That's when you're 46, you don't have to fight anymore. And that is my message today. Just understand why you're scattered. Understand why you can't get anything going all the way through. You can never finish that thought process and execute the plan. And therefore, you continue to find yourself in a situation where you're desperate. You're trying to find a way to get back to where you were, which is even. But if you stay locked in and concentrate on the compensatory control factor of your life, which is doing everything that you think of every single day the exact same way, and I take 1 minute and go to that playlist.
Doesn't have an expiration date. Who's next for Pacquiao? There's already talk about who Manny might fight next. Rolando Romero is a strong possibility, especially after footage showed him training seriously. He said he'd be honored to face a legend like Pacquiao. Other names like Gervonta Davis have come up too, though that fight may be harder to make due to business issues. Could Mayweather versus Pacquiao happen again? Some fans still hope for a rematch between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, but today, Floyd is older and far less active. He's been doing exhibition matches.
When I became a world champion, then I realized that this is the time that I can help my family. Before that, we don't have food to eat in one day. We just drink a lot of water to survive. And I remember one time, my young brother is 5 years old back then, and he was crying like in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon. He's crying because he's hungry. He's asking for food. We don't eat breakfast. We don't eat lunch. He don't understand what is. When you're telling him no money, we have no money to buy food, and he's crying like, "Mom, I'm hungry." Like he's crying. And then I look to my mom and look at his eyes, and it's the tear flow in his eyes, and then I feel so sad, and like, and of course I'm crying also because hungry. We drink water just to survive. That's our past, so that's why I always told them that, Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao, but I don't have the right to become arrogant, to become boastful. I want to stay humble because we've been there. We came from nothing.
But didn't fully reflect his effort. A shocking result at age 46. The biggest surprise of the night was Pacquiao, at 46, going the distance and earning a draw against a world champion. Many believe he was unfairly denied a win. Compared to his last fight 5 years ago, where he looked slow, this was a huge improvement. He looked sharper, quicker, and full of energy. If a rematch with Mayweather ever happens, it would now be more fair. Both are older, and neither can claim to be in their prime. But based on what we saw, many believe Pacquiao would win this time. While Mayweather has only done light exhibition fights, Pacquiao just battled a top-level opponent and held his own. Pacquiao says he's not done boxing yet, and there's really no reason he should be. No, he's not among the very best in the world right now.
And we will see what transpires, but all these people out here saying that the fight was fixed, a lot of these people were not fans of Manny Pacquiao. When that whole Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao situation was going on with the steroids allegation, the needles, and the back and forth between the Pac-Tars, as they called them back in the day, and the Mayweather fans. A lot of those fans still hold grudges towards Manny Pacquiao. I guarantee if that was Mayweather that was fighting Mario Barrios coming into that fight after a long layoff, all them people would have said Mayweather had a chance, Mayweather gonna win, become champion once again. Mayweather's levels above Mario Barrios even at that age, and Mayweather's actually older than Pacquiao. But those same people wasn't giving Pacquiao no chance to defeat an average fighter in Mario Barrios, and that's what I base my pick on, that Mario Barrios is average. Some people that's Tank Davis fans, they want to blow up Mario Barrios into something that he really ain't. Because really before the Tank fight, we talking about Mario Barrios right now. Before the Tank fight, he took on a guy by the name of Ahmad Daliev. He lost that fight. And he took a beating from that fight. And Mario Barrios really ain't never been the same from that fight. Go back and watch that fight. That was the fight before the Tank fight. Now a lot of people say, well, he was looking good in the Tank fight. He was winning early in the Tank fight. That was a fact of Tank going up in weight, fighting a much bigger guy on fight night. Look at the difference in size. Not only we ain't just looking at the height, but he was just a much bigger guy.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback has fighters worried at 46 years old. Manny Pacquiao is surprising everyone. He still moves like he did in his prime. Former champion Sean Porter watched Pacquiao train and saw him fight Mario Barrios. His reaction: Manny hasn't lost a step. His speed, footwork, and energy are all still there. Fighters today are worried because Manny looks like the same dangerous legend he always was. Chris Algieri weighs Increase Algieri, who once fought Manny at his best, says that
draw.
No.
Because
weird rounds, hard to score.
Yeah, Pacquiao did better than I thought he did. And that's we get into that weird territory in boxing where you start grading on a curve. That's not how boxing works. And I was like, oh, Pacquiao's doing better. He's probably winning. Oh, he won. But no, he probably didn't. And a draw he's probably lucky to get a draw.
Yeah, as I was watching it and scoring it, and I was in the live chat with people, and there was just so many rabid Pacquiao fans that were like, every time he did anything, first of all, anytime he did anything in the arena, the place went absolutely bonkers. Like it was going to tear down. Honestly, he probably fought 50 to 60 seconds a round. He did not do much. He didn't need to because Barrios didn't step on the gas pedal at all at any point. He was so listless and just kind of like ho-humming through it. So Pacquiao was able to steal moments, and he did a really good job of stealing the end of rounds and making an exclamation point. And also, we saw flashes of the Manny of old when he would have that little like the flourishing signature in the end of something. He'd make that little movement, bang, he'd pop that left hand, he'd fly out, boom, 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 boom. He'd make those little moves, he'd do the fancy feet, and you would be like, oh, but really nothing happened. He didn't land a lot of punches. Like, it wasn't like anything really effective. But it got everybody emotional. It got everybody, and whereas Barrios was the exact opposite. Everything he did was so workmanlike. He has zero charisma. He has no sell on anything he does. He just lacked passion. I know he's Aztec warrior, but where was the passion? Where was the exchanging? Where was the biting down on my mouthpiece and going for it? So there was a lot of opportunities based on how both guys fought for Manny to actually steal rounds because Mario wasn't selling it. Pacquiao was. The crowd was behind him. But yes, when you do it, you're looking at it almost like you're almost comparing Pacquiao to Pacquiao. You're being like, oh, he fought really good for a 46-year-old. He didn't fight really good for a 12-round main event, champion. He fought really good for a 46-year-old Pacquiao. So you get that idea in your head, like, oh man, he's doing so good. But is he really, or are you just voting for the guy that you like better?
Like, nostalgia is a hell of a joke, and we were all high on Saturday.
Age doesn't mean the dream has to stop. He believes in pushing limits and proving that greatness doesn't have an expiration date. Who's next for Pacquiao? There's already talk about who Manny might fight next. Rolando Romero is a strong possibility, especially after footage showed him training seriously. He's said he'd be honored to face a legend like Pacquiao. Other names like Gervonta Davis have come up too, though that fight may be harder to make due to business issues. Could Mayweather versus Pacquiao?
The most surprising result from last night was 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao going 12 rounds and drawing against the WBC champion. And the craziest part of all of it might be that Manny Pacquiao might have been robbed. I genuinely think that Manny Pacquiao might have won the fight. He looked great. He looked sharp, especially for being a 46-year-old. And this is why I told you guys that Manny Pacquiao's mentality is different. His passion for boxing is unmatched. This is why he's one of the GOATs. From what we saw, we can see that he really put in a lot of work because in his last fight, I believe it was 5 years ago, he didn't look good. He looked slow. He looked like a 46-year-old, well, a 40-year-old because he was 40 years old back then. But he didn't look good, but he looked great. I feel if the rematch happens against Mayweather, which would honestly be an amazing fight because they're both old now, so they don't have any excuse of being like, oh, this guy's past his prime. They're both past their prime. They're both old. But if it happens, I think Manny Pacquiao wins. Floyd Mayweather hasn't fought, and he doesn't have the same amount of passion. He fought Logan Paul and Deji, but this guy fought an actual WBC champion and looked great and could have possibly beat him. He said he's not going to stop boxing, and he honestly has no reason why to stop. Now, obviously, I don't think he's like a top 10 boxer right now, or like currently, whatever, but he can hold his own. If he went against someone like Gervonta Davis, yes, he'd get murdered, but there's a lot of fighters that he can go toe-to-toe with right now. I don't know, though. Fall for Sport content, we're about to hit 1,000.